Yes, another day that we are continuing with our revision on business data analysis, and today we are going to look at a question that was tested in December 2022, question number 21, about forecasting financial statement. And the question reads, it was question number 21 of December 2022. We have provided the following extracts of the statement of profit or loss for Sepetuka Limited. So we have Sepetuka Limited statement of profit or loss extract for the year ended 30 September, so 2019 to 2022. So been given all that item, sales until profit after tax. So we are required to calculate and interpret the following ratios. First one is annual revenue growth rate for the year 2020, 21 and 2022. 3-year cumulative average growth rate, call it CAGR, for the year 2022, and effective tax rate for the period 2019 to 2022. So effective tax rate for those particular years. So in this case, I'll start with this one, the average revenue growth rates. Let me insert another row there. Okay, need to insert a row here, and here I will insert another row, so that in this case we need to calculate for 2020, 2021 and 2022. The average growth rate. So growth rate in 2020, annual revenue growth rate. So remember, growth happens from year 2. So 2019 we shall take 20. So this will be equals to this one, 2020. I will open the bracket to get the growth. This one, 2020 I minus 2019. I close the bracket and I divide by 2019 to get that growth. So I'll convert this into percentage, and I can put to decimal, 20% for that particular year, and I will drag this that way. So the second was 25 and the third was 18%. So that is our annual revenue growth rate. Then you have the effective tax rate, not this one, 3-year cumulative average growth rate. This is CAGR for the year 2022. So for the year 2022, our CAG, or we call it CAGR, so 3-year cumulative average. It's a cumulative average, so 3-year from 2020 to 2022. So we shall take this, I will open the bracket, 3-year cumulative average growth rate. So I'll take this and I minus this one for 20, I minus one for 2020, that one I open. I will erase, for CAGR you raise to power, so raise to power 1 to bracket 1 over how many years? So there are 2 years. The growth will happen now 2 years, 1 over 2, and I minus 1. I'll do that, minus 1, that way, and I enter. So that one, just a minute. Okay, so our CAGR here, let me just change, this one is wrong, so it should be, instead of minusing, normally put over, that way. So the end revenue, when you divide by the beginning for the 2020, and you raised per 1/2, remember 2 is 2 years, the growth for 3 years, the growth is 2 years, and we minus 1. I'll enter that, and I'll put this into percentage, and I'll put it to 2 decimal place. So that will be our CAG. It will be our CAG in that case. So you can introduce a column here, so that they are in that area. So that is our CAG and this is our growth rate. Then effective tax rate for the period 2019 to 2022. So here we shall have so effective tax rate for the period 2019. So we shall start with 2020. You can start even in 2019, 2020, 2021 and 2022. And our effective tax rate, and control this, control bold. So remember, tax rate is normally calculated as a percentage, so income tax expense as a percentage of profit before tax. So you shall take this and you divide by this, that way, and this one change it into percentage and drag that and find that the effective is 30% all through. So the tax rate was 30% all through. So that was for the first part. For Roman 1, the growth rate for the 3 years, and Roman 2, the KAJA, cumulative average growth rate, and Roman 3, effective tax rate for the period. That was part A. Now go to part B of the question. Now assume the following for Sepetuka Limited. Revenue growth rates are forecasted under three scenarios, namely you have the base case, optimistic case, and pessimistic case. The base case growth rate for the first year forecast is 2022 KAJA. This is expected to reduce by 2% annually until the last year forecast, subject to a minimum of 15%. So first we deal with that. So this one is a base. Let me deal with it here, the base case, and I'll do some working. So for the base case, we are having how many years? The first year. So the base case growth rate for the first year forecast is 2022. Remember, when you look at the question, we need prepare 5-year. You're supposed to prepare 5-year forecast statement of the profit or loss for Sepetuka Limited from the year 2023 to 2027. You need the forecast from the year 2023, 24, and 25, 26, and 27. Those are the years. And for the revenue, so they're saying the revenue growth rate. So that's our sales. Our sales will grow here. The first year, they're telling us this. The base case growth rate for the first year forecast is 2022 KAJA. So the KAJA that we had here will be our forecast for 2022, and it will reduce. It is expected to reduce by 2% annually until the last year forecast, subject to a minimum of 15%. So we reduce this by 2%. And we minus 2% that way, which will be, so I'll reduce this to decimal place that way, and I'll drag this that way. So you can see now it will reduce until 2027 is 13, but you're told what? Up to a minimum of 15%. So for this one we shall change and we put 15%. Minimum of 15% to be the minimum there for the first, for that particular base case. And the optimistic case is 20% above the base case. So for the optimistic, let me just write it here. For the optimistic it will be 1.2, 20%, 1.2. And for the pessimistic, it will be 90, because they are saying above the base case, while the pessimistic case is 10% below the base case in all forecast period. So this will be 0.9, 90% for that one. Okay, that way. So when you continue to the second thing, you're done with note 1. So point 2, it talks about the gross profit margin for the first year of the forecast is a 3-year. average for the period from 2020 to 2022. Yeah, 3-year average, whereby I will calculate it here for 2020, 2021 and 2022. So GP, gross profit. Here our gross profit. So our gross profit here in this one will be our gross profit percentage over sales. Over sales, and I enter that one, and let me first format this area to be 12, and I will drag this. I will increase, change that to percentage. Yeah, whether with 2 or 1 it will be okay. So I need these to be the average. So here the gross profit, they are saying the gross profit margin for the first year of the forecast is 3-year average for the period. So here our gross profit will be 3 years average. It will be average for the 3 of them. Yeah, that way. So average will be 50%, and so the gross profit margin for the first year of the forecast will be 3-year average for the period from year 2020 to year 2022. This is expected to reduce by 2% annually until okay, so this is expected to reduce by 2% annually until the last year of forecast, subject to a minimum of 50%. I think I've started with the wrong year then. So it's supposed to start with 2020. Sorry. So 2020 here we have this value, and we divide by this value. It's supposed to be 50 here, and I drag this. Yeah, that way. So that our average will be 56 for the first year, and this will reduce by 2%. And I enter, and I drag this that way. So I'll reduce the zeros to that way, 2 past 2 decimal places, in order to avoid a lot of overlap and overlay. So you can say the minimum we have is 48, but you are told up to a minimum of what? This is expected to reduce by 2% annually until the last year of forecast, subject to a minimum of 50%. So the last year of forecast, we shall have 50% as our minimum of 50%, the last year of forecast. Then the next, operating expense ratio are modeled as a very average for the period 2020 to 2022. Again, for the operating expense here, 3 years average operating expense, which we shall have from year 2020. Operating expense will be this, and divide by this gross profit. Sales, this one, convert it into percentage, include 2 decimal place, and we drag this that way. And here our operating expense, so you can merge this, and then this one that way. So operating expense, it will be an average again, average of these 3. That average, it will be 19. Operating expense ratio are modeled as 3-year average for the period from 2020 to 2022. These are assumed to remain constant, so this one will be a constant, it will not change each year. Then depreciation to revenue ratio is assumed to remain constant as a 3-year average for the period 2020 to 2022. Again, for depreciation is an average. Here my depreciation to revenue, it will be an average. So depreciation of 2020 is this, and you divide by the revenue ratio. Yeah, he'll get this percentage and put it into 2, then drag that here. Okay, so this one our depreciation, and here will be again average of history, and I close this. Yeah, it will be 1.03, and you're told what depreciation to revenue ratio is assumed to remain constant as 3 average for the period 2020 to 2022. It will be a constant again. Finance costs are expected to reduce steadily as the loans are repaid. Use the reduction rate in 2022 over the forecast period. So it will be reducing for the finance cost here. So our finance cost, we have this, and the reduction rate, when you look at it has been reducing. So here the reduction rate from 7 to 9 to 8. So here it has reduced, so we need this reduction rate, yeah, whereby it will be, it has reduced by what, by 1,000. Yeah, so this will be is equals to this yeah, you can put a plus, I minus this, so that we get negative. Okay, then that one is opposite, because already it's negative. I'll minus, then this minus this, so that it becomes a positive here. Reduction of 1,000, yeah, reduction of 1,000 each year. Then income tax expense is calculated as historical effective tax rate. So for the tax expense, income tax expense is what already we have calculated here as the tax rate, effective tax rate of 30%. Those are our assumptions, or the calculations that we shall be basing on while we are calculating our equations. And I'll start now with the first one, the base case. The base case, let me calculate it here. So my base case, and okay, let me start here 20. So I can just copy even this, what I have here, can copy that, and I paste it from here. So I paste it there. Okay, so Control V as a shortcut and Control bold. Those are our years that we shall be having there under the base case. Yeah, so this I can cut it, I put it in the center, and I merge these two. So the base case, I can use a different color, and I can bold that, and I will copy the items in the income statement here. I will copy this, yeah, I paste it here. Okay, so I just have a paste of that, and yeah, that way, whereby I'll just merge this to reduce these lines, merge this, so merging this, so I merge this, depreciation, merge this, and I reduce the size here. Okay, merge this, merge this, I merge this again, I merge this. Okay, that way. Yeah, so we can now do our question. Yeah, that way. So that now for the cells of even this one will merge that way. So for the cells, already we know the forecaster, it will be 21 point that. So for the year 2023, our cells, therefore we are basing on the year 2022, so we shall have equals to this one, and I will fully lock it F4 to fully lock that value, and I multiply by into bracket, it is growing 1 plus our growth rate will be this one. Yeah, our growth rate will be this one, and now this one I lock it partly. Yeah, I'll shift $sign to lock only 7, and I close the bracket. So the bracket is at the end. I close the bracket and I enter. So that will be our sales for this particular year. Yeah, for this particular year. So to 2, you can reduce the decimal to use 0 decimal place. Then the second year 2024, it will be for 2021, and I will not fully lock that. I multiply by 1 plus our growth rate for the second year, and again I do the partial lock on that value, and I close that and I enter. That will be the sales for the second year, and I'll drag now. After doing for second year, I will drag to fill, and you can see now it has picked the other years, whereby okay, so shall have 1,000 separator, reduce the number of zeros even here, 1,000 separator, that way. So you can see if I click here, it has picked R16, and our R16 is this, and M7. Yeah, so for M7 it has picked this value. Yeah, this value, and when you come to here, it has picked A16, this one, because this is what is growing. Yeah, to that level. Then we go to gross profit first. You can deal with the gross profit, and for the gross profit, it is growing at 56.67%. Yeah, 56.67, and it is on sales. Yeah, we are calculating it on sales. So here, and I will fully lock this. Yeah, remember full lock is F4, and I will multiply by 1 plus this rate, and the rate I will just do a partial lock, and I will close the bracket on that, and I enter. So that will be our gross profit in that case, and I will reduce the zeros. Yeah, that way. Second year, it will be yeah, just a minute, this one is not okay because it is giving us even more. Remember, we are calculating as a percentage. Okay, so it will be, it's not the growth, sorry, so it will be this sales, fully lock this, okay, F4, and you multiply by this one, the gross profit, partial lock this value, and close the bracket. Did we use any bracket? Really? No bracket. So that way 65,790. So for the second one, we shall base on okay, so I think that one it should have picked. Let me see when I drag this whether it will pick. Yeah, that one already it has picked, because for the second one it has picked Q16. Okay, so Q16. Okay, so for the gross profit here I've done a mistake. I was supposed only to partial lock, so sales I'll not lock it, I'll just partial lock the percentage, yeah, because sales it will move along with sales, so it should be 65, and I drag these now along, yeah, that way, whereby when you look at this one, it has calculated R16, and R16 is this, and L8 is this, and when you come to this one, it has captured the S16 is this, and it has captured what, M8. Our M8 is this, so that is our gross. I'll highlight this to bold it, control bold, I'll put the top border, yeah, that way. So to get the cost of sales, so this will be this minus the gross profit, that way, that will be the cost of sales for that period, that way. And our operating expense is at this particular rate over 19. So I shall take it based on sales, all of them. I'll not lock sales, but I'll partial lock. So these are constant, so I'll fully lock this. Yeah, I will fully lock this because this was it's a constant, it's not changing. 19, and I enter, and I will drag along that way. I will find that it has calculated as 16 by the rate, yeah, so all of them it will capture that particular rate, and I will just highlight here to use a bracket as negative. Let me just format this, format, custom format, change this to negative, to bracket, yeah, to bracket, and put that, and even this one was supposed to have into bracket, and here I put a negative sign. Yeah, so it was supposed to be that way. That one is okay. Then we go to the next, operating profit, just minus, yeah, all it equals, we just need the sum of that. So operating profit, and I'll drag this, yeah, that way, and I'll put the top border for that. Then we calculate our depreciation, which is at 1.03 of sales, so I'll take sales multiplied by 1.03, and I will fully lock this because this is a constant. I enter, and I will drag that way, and we get profit before tax, all it equals the sum of the two, operating profit minus this. I enter, and I will drag this, I put the top border. Then our finance cost, it is reducing by 1,000, yeah, it is reducing by 1,000, so I'll put equals to the value for 2022 Our finance cost for 2022, it was 8,000. This one, and I will minus because already this one is a negative, and I will fully lock this. F4, and I enter, and I drag that. I will drag that. Okay, so that one is wrong. Let me undo that. So the second one will be this, and I minus this value, and again I will fully lock this, and I enter. I believe now that pattern I can drag now, because it will pick that pattern. Yeah, that one is okay. Alt equals, and I combine the two here. So this will be our profit before tax. I will drag that, and I put top border on that. Then income tax at 30%. It is 30% of the profit before tax. So multiply by this, and I will fully lock this 30% by F4, and I will drag this that way. And the profit after tax, alt equals, profit before tax, you minus the tax expense. And this one I drag again. Yeah, that way, profit after tax. I will use top and bottom border, because that will be our, and I will bold this. Yeah, that way. So that will be our profit before tax. Even this one I can bold. That, and profit before tax. And that is our base case scenario. So we shall go to the second optimistic case. So for the optimistic case, and I'll merge this and change the color there. So you can use green for optimistic, and I need to copy this, whatever already I've done here, and I come and paste it here under the optimistic case. Under the optimistic, and we will format this area. Let me format these, especially for the negative. I use bracket there. Okay, so those are our values. So for the year, we don't have 1,000 separator for the year. Okay, let me edit individual. So this is 2023. Okay, so this one we just need it to be a number with 0 decimal place. I will bold this and use the bottom border. So we know the sales under the optimistic case, they were increasing by 20%. Yeah, 20%. So for the first one, I'll just pick whatever we had. Just a minute. So I'll undo this because I wanted it to copy with the formulas. Okay. So copy, I paste it here. Yeah, paste it with formulas. Okay. Morning. So I'll format this. Custom format. I change this to bracket, yeah, that way. And our years, we'll highlight this, convert this into a number, and put it into number, reduce the zeros there, bold that, and put the bottom border that way, so that for the cells, yeah, this one now has got the, so we shall put equals to this, and I will increase it by 20 by 1.2, and 1.2 I will lock it. I will lock this, multiply it by 1.2, so that one multiplied by 1.2. So 1.2 you can fully lock that value by F4, and I will enter. So that will be our cells, the new cells for this scenario. And I will drag this, and when I drag this, you'll find that it will automatically change all the other values. All the other values automatically they will be added. That will be our optimistic case. I'll just bold, so this one, bold this, and use the top border for that. So that is a gross profit, operating profit. This one we bold and top border, then the profit before interest and tax, bold this, and top border, then profit before tax, shall bold this, so here profit before tax, we'll highlight this and bold, put the top border. This one you had the top border, on the, then you have the profit after tax. We'll bold this, and we'll put top and bottom border, yeah, that way. So that will be our optimistic case. We go to the third, pessimistic case. For the pessimistic case, we'll merge this, and I bold that. I'll change the color for pessimistic. I can use red for pessimistic case, and I will come and paste whatever I had there. So I'll copy this, the initial one, and I come and paste it here, plus the formulas. he pasted plus the formulas. So this one I'll bold, and I use a bottom border, and I will highlight this, format this area, include negative using bracket. Okay, and I think that's all. So the gross profit, I'll bold this, bold this value, use top border, and for the operating profit, bold this, and use top border again. Profit before tax, bold, in this area you bold this, and again use top border, and so profit before interest or profit before tax, the same case, you bold that and use a top border. The last one is profit after tax, and you bold this, you use top and bottom border. Then I will change. For the pessimistic, it was reducing by 10%, which gave us 90%. So I'll eliminate this, and I will put equals to the one for year 1, the base case, and I multiply by 90%, and I will fully lock this F4, and I enter that way, and I will drag this. I will drag this. You will find that it will automatically change all the other values. All the other values will change. All the other values. So you can see here we had 24 as our profit. Under this one it became 36, and under this one it became 27. And this one was 29, and optimistic it increased to 41, and a pessimistic it has decreased to 31. And so let me confirm that. Okay, so this one is 59, 78, this one was 42. Okay, so this was 65, so this one has reduced to 59. So I'll adjust for the finance cost. You can see here it has not taken the correct value, it has an error. So I'll change this and use the value that we had. Now we had this, and I minus these, which I will fully lock. And I enter that way. You can see now that one it has changed up to 3,000. The same here. I'll use this value, is it this one, and I will minus this one, which I will fully lock, F4, and I enter. Again it has changed, and that's it. So that's how the question of forecasting was supposed to be done. 90%. This one was the base, this was the optimistic at 120%, and this was the pessimistic. And the best thing when you do the base case and you do the proper locking, when you just copy the formulas, you'll just change the cells and automatically it will give you the values. And even this one, you just copy the base, change the cells with the new percentage, and automatically you'll get the new values. And that's the question. And for December 2022, remember we're doing the revision. It was this one for Sepetuka Limited. We have calculated the growth rate, we have calculated the kaja, we have calculated the effective tax rate, and we have been able to do the second part of the question, where we have to prepare forecast, 5-year forecast for Sepetuka Limited. So it was a 5-year forecast. Let me paste it here. 5-year forecast for Sepetuka Limited. It was for that particular period of time from the year 2023 to the year 2027. Prepare 5-year forecast. So we'll just eliminate this so that it reads 5-year forecast statement of profit or loss for Sepetuka Limited, and we have calculated that. That is the whole question, how it was supposed to be done. Continue subscribing to this channel for more content and for more revision on business data analysis.